Welcome everybody to Wheelchair Tech Friday. Today I'm going to talk about some low tech rather than high tech. so, and it could be high tech depending on what needs to happen. I am very passionate about safety, as many of you know, and I try to cover those areas in which I can get information for you about uh, your use of your wheelchair and remaining safe. So, this one I've done a few times about traveling at dusk or at dark at nighttime. So, this time I looked around for some articles that would back up what I'm saying, because usually, on the internet you get all kinds of information and you don't know, how true it is, or, is this person just whacked out and giving you crazy information, or what's the deal here? So I usually look through articles and research to back up what I'm saying. So sometimes people say, Lisa, why are you putting all those links in the description box? And it's because whatever I say is backed up by documents that I've looked up. so, and this one is no different. There was a article, a very good one, and I'll post it down below as always in the description box, so you can take a look at it. This one is called "Be Seen and Get a Break: How You Can Avoid Becoming a Statistic on Our Wintry, Rainy, and Dark Streets." Here in the United States and Europe, if you live north, it gets dark for longer periods of time. Right now, it's not an issue because, we're still in the summertime and it is still light out, longer. But let me see who wrote this. This comes from The Spin. It is a magazine, and I'm looking for the authors here because I always tell you where it comes from and who wrote it. There were two researchers that wrote this article. Let's see if I can find them. Dr. Bonnie Sawatsky and Dr. Ben Mortensen. We want to thank both of them, and they wrote this article in the magazine called The Spin, and this was for the winter of 2021. So they were investigating what would be the safest and how quickly a driver would see you, and what was going to be most effective for you to be seen when you cross the road in the evenings and at nighttime. So what they discovered was they used all kinds of materials. They used lights on on a wheelchair. They used vests. They used stickers, those reflective stickers. They used all kinds of things. So what they discovered is that the quickness of the driver to recognize something's coming out to the road, I need to check what that is, or slow down or stop. It was lights that were most effective on wheelchairs to keep themselves safe. Not so much the stickers. So it was LED lights. They used the Tetra Gear LED lights system. Now, the only thing with the Tetra lights, is I think it needs to be plugged into your wheelchair directly. So if you are a techie, which I am not, then you can plug it in to the wheelchair mechanism, to the motor, or to the battery. Not sure where that would go. And you'll have a button of some kind to turn them on when you're traveling at night. Now, the issue is I also travel at night. I go to church sometimes at night, and so then I have to travel through the parking lot, two parking lots actually, to get home, which is not far. However, when you are dealing and weaving in between cars, you want to be seen. So even the pastor was worried. He said, I want you to be seen. I don't want you to be run over. So what I did, which was very, very low tech, and at the end of, the line of things that would work were stickers. So I have reflective stickers all over my wheelchair, in the back and the side, everywhere I could think. But these investigators stated that lights were the most effective. And what came in number two was the reflective vests. So I do have a reflective, those guards that help the children cross the roads. I have one of those, and it's not a vest, it's just the straps. So I do have that, and I promise the researchers that I will wear that. Plus, I'm getting a headlight, so I can see the road, because usually I'm trying to maneuver. Sometimes I have a book in my hand from church, and then I'm steering with the other hand, and it gets a little clumsy because I'm trying to do two things at the same time. So I'm going to have to make this a little bit more simpler and make sure that I am visible, because the cars are leaving, at the same time I'm leaving. And so it's really important for me to be able to see where I'm going and for the cars not to run me over. So it's just an important detail there. So they really did a lot of research on this, and they took quite a bit of time. They wrote out all the statistics in terms of wheelchair users being hit by cars. And usually we don't survive because we're a little bit more frail than the usual pedestrian. We are known as pedestrians, those of us who use wheelchairs. So they did all their research, and they figured out that, number one, let me see if I can get the last of their information here. Wheelchair users at night and daytime conditions, the tetra-gear LED light system, reflective safety vest, and wheelchair-mounted orange flags. These were all compared to the control, which was black clothing, essentially no visibility strategy at all. 50 participants, men and women who routinely drive, were shown videos that were taken from the driver's perspective in a vehicle traveling at 30 kilometers per hour. In each video, a wheelchair user using one of the three visibility strategies or controlled is waiting at the cross street. So they did this in a safe way, of course. They didn't put anybody in danger. So their statement is, at nighttime conditions, the tetra-gear LED lighting systems emerged as the most effective strategy by far. The reflective vest was next. So it's one of those two. The reflective vest, okay, but not nearly as effective as alerting drivers at the lighting system. Neither the orange flag nor black clothing provided an adequate stopping distance when a vehicle was traveling at 32 kilometers per hour at night. So there you have it. Some kind of lighting system is recommended to attach to your wheelchair if you are a person who is out at night, and I certainly am. So this is a safety concern for all of us. We have a lot of wheelchair users that are hit by cars every year in the United States, and I would like to see those numbers be reduced by a large number, down to zero if possible. And this is one of those things that we could do to help ourselves, keep ourselves safe, and to keep the drivers alert in terms of, what we look like. We got to remember that we're seated, we're much lower, and it's not easy for the cars to see us. And most of our wheelchairs are black or blue. They're a darker color for the most part. So this is what that I would recommend. Another study of wheelchair users, this is part of the article, in the USA conclude that from 2006 to 2012, wheelchair users had 36% higher risk of being involved in a fatal collision than non-wheelchair users. 36%, that's high. That's really high. So anything we can do to be safe, I prefer that you have something rather than nothing. So if you can't do the Tetra Gear lights or equipment, find some kind of lighting system that would work for you, that you can tape on, that it's run by batteries, and you can Velcro that onto your chair, whatever you can do. I'm thinking of getting those strips of Christmas lights you can stick on and that are run by battery. I'll probably use those. I can't do the Tetra Gear, but I could do the Christmas light type. And the brighter they are, the better. So that's probably what I'm going to do. I'm going to add a headlight, and what else was I thinking of doing? Oh, and purchasing some red lights that I can put on my back wheels. So I'll have mid-range, because the cars are approaching you, and the first thing they're going to see is your wheels. So I have some reflective stickers on my wheels. And then if I put the lights in back of me, because what I get concerned most about cars approaching me from the back, because I can't see them and I can't hear them either. I'm hearing impaired, so I don't hear all that. So I never know if a car's behind me or not. So to have those lights behind me will be extra security. And those lights that I'm looking at are on Amazon, and they're rechargeable. And they have a strap that you can strap around your wheels in the back. So I will do that. But anything you can do, and again, I prefer you have something rather than nothing, so that the cars can see you at night. This is crucial to reduce these numbers and eliminate this 36% of us getting hit on the roads. So that is my story, and I am sticking to it. I want all of us to be safe on the roads. I know people who use wheelchairs who are really techies, and they can take lights and stream them on stick them on their wheelchair really fast and connect them to the motor of their wheelchair. I have no idea how they do that. I'd probably burn myself to death before I'm done. But think about it. If you're a person who goes out and crosses streets or parking lots at night, think about what kind of mechanism you would like on your wheelchair, and who can install that for you, so that you can just turn them on at night when you're going through the parking lots. I know I need to do something, and I need to do a little bit more than I have on my wheelchairs. My wheelchair, I only have one. So let's do that. Let's do that together, and let's post here on YouTube, or it can be also on Accessible Go. If you have a need for an accessible hotel room, you can go to accessiblego.com and get their help, and they will help you maintain that hotel, to keep the hotel room that you've reserved, and they'll make sure that they have all the accessible features that is needed in that room. So that's Accessible Go. They haven't asked me to do this commercial. I'm doing it because I do post in Accessible Go. The people there have a lot of questions about scooters and wheelchairs when they're traveling. So feel free, go to Accessible Go, check them out if you in the future have a need for a hotel that's accessible. So let's try to make all of our wheelchairs safer, so we can cross the street without an incident.